Rain pounded the asphalt like desperate fists. Thunder rumbled low, vibrating the street lamps. Emily Carter crouched behind a rusted dumpster. Her breaths came in sharp, frightened bursts. Wet hair clung to her pale cheeks. The cracked map fluttered in her trembling hand. Faint footsteps echoed on the slick pavement. She pressed her back against cold metal. A distant siren wailed, cutting through the storm. Lightning flashed, revealing a dark figure. Emily's heart slammed against her ribs. She traced the red X with a quivering finger. Memories of her grandmother's whispered promise surfaced. Find it, Grandma had insisted. Find the heart. But danger stalked every shadow tonight. A shout cracked like a whip behind her. Emily spun, eyes wide with terror. A masked man lunged through the downpour. Her pulse thundered louder than the storm. She bolted, map clutched to her chest. Water splashed as she sprinted down the alley. Thunder boomed as if to warn her. Emily skidded to a halt at the gate. Hands reached out, pulling her inside. She collapsed onto dry wood, gasping for air. A stranger's silhouette blocked the rain. He held a lantern, face hidden by shadows. Emily's fingers brushed the map's frayed edge. A sudden crash of thunder split the sky. Lightning illuminated his intense grey eyes. He whispered, voice soft but urgent, "We don't have much time." Emily's vision blurred. Her heart raced as if she'd already found the treasure. And then the world went black. Emily Carter woke before dawn every weekday. She brewed dark roast coffee in her small kitchen. Morning light filtered through linen curtains. Her Brooklyn brownstone felt snug and familiar. Emily worked as a junior archivist at the New York Public Library. Rows of dusty tomes were her daily companions. Her grandmother, Rose Carter, had sparked Emily's love for history. Rose's laugh rang through their Connecticut farmhouse. Emily treasured memories of sunlit porches and whispered stories. Her parents lived 3 states away in Ohio. She called them every Sunday evening without fail. Loneliness flared when the call ended. Emily's best friend, Marcus, owned a cafe 2 blocks away. He greeted her with a steaming latte most mornings. "Rough night?" he asked, noticing her tired eyes. She forced a smile over warm foam. "I dreamt of Grandma's map again," she confessed. Marcus offered a reassuring nod. He knew Rose's tales of hidden treasure, while Emily's apartment walls were lined with framed maps. Each map tracked a family legend or mystery. She studied cartography books for fun, but real adventure felt distant in her calm life. Bills piled on her desk. Work deadlines loomed like silent alarms. She worried about making partner at the library. Deep down, Emily feared her life lacked magic. Her grandmother's final gift, a faded, cryptic map, lay locked in a desk drawer. She hadn't dared open it yet. Tonight, curiosity and grief tangled in her chest. She missed Rose's warm presence. More each day, Emily's fingers itched to trace the map's lines. Her heart ached for one last story together. Still, doubts whispered in her mind. What if the treasure wasn't real? What if the map led only to heartbreak? That doubt faded when she heard Grandma's voice in her memory. "Find it, Emily. Find what matters." And so the map awaited discovery. But Emily felt a new flutter of anticipation. She would honor Rose's wishes no matter the cost. Tonight, she would unlock the mystery. She steeled herself against fear. Because the map promised more than gold. It promised answers, and perhaps something closer to his heart. Late that evening, Emily unlocked her grandmother's antique desk. The desk smelled of oak and mothballs. Her fingers traced a hidden latch beneath the writing surface. A soft click echoed in the quiet room. Emily lifted the drawer and gasped. Inside lay the faded map, folded carefully. A small note fell into her lap. She smoothed the paper with trembling hands. Ink blurred where tears had fallen. "Emily," the note began, "this map leads to more than treasure." Her pulse jolted at Grandma's familiar handwriting. She unfolded the map fully under the lamp's glow. The parchment revealed winding paths and strange symbols. One symbol resembled a heart. Another looked like a compass rose. Emily's mind raced with possibilities. A sudden knock rattled her front door. Her breath caught in her throat. She folded the map quickly. Peeking through the peephole, she saw no one. Only the empty hallway waited. Emily's throat dried. She opened the door a crack. A small package lay on the doormat. No return address. Emily lifted it carefully. Inside, she found an old key wrapped in velvet. The key's brass surface gleamed in the lamplight. Its teeth formed a heart shape. On the key's bow, tiny initials RC were etched. Emily's chest tightened. "Rose Carter," she whispered. Tucked beneath the velvet sat a second note. This one read, "Use both together. Trust only him." Emily's gaze shot upward. Her pulse thundered. "Only him," she murmured. A chill crept up her spine. Questions swirled in her mind. Who sent the key? What did "trust only him" mean? Emily felt both fear and excitement. She gripped the map and key together. Rain began tapping at her window again. Grandma's words haunted her. "Find the heart." Emily rose, determination burning in her eyes. She grabbed her coat and stepped into the hall. The apartment felt oddly empty now. She tucked map and key into her bag. The elevator dinged as she descended. In the lobby, the security guard nodded. His smile seemed off tonight. Emily hurried past without a word. Outside, the city felt different. Streetlights cast long, dancing shadows. She hugged her coat tighter against the chill. Emily crossed the street, toward the library. Its doors stood ajar, lights glowing inside. She paused, heart pounding. Why would the library be open now? Memory of a midnight meeting surfaced. A letter mentioned a hidden vault in the library. Emily's breath caught at the thought. She pushed the heavy door open. A hush greeted her footsteps. Rows of towering bookshelves loomed overhead. Her lantern's beam revealed dust motes in the air. She followed the map's first marking. The corridor ended at a bronze plaque. It read, "Carter Family Collection." Emily's fingers trembled as she pushed a hidden panel. A section of shelf swung inward. A narrow stairwell spiraled down. Cool air drifted up from below. Emily hesitated only a moment. She descended into darkness. Each step creaked under her weight. At the bottom, she found a heavy iron door. A heart-shaped lock sat at its center. The brass key fit perfectly. Emily turned it slowly. The lock clicked. Open. With a deep breath, she pushed the door. Inside lay a small chamber. A single pedestal stood at its center. Upon it rested a wooden box. The box glowed softly beneath her lantern. Emily approached with reverent steps. Her heart pounded so loudly, she heard it. She lifted the box's lid. Inside lay a leather-bound journal. Its cover bore Rose Carter's initials. Next to it sat a velvet pouch of gold coins. Emily's eyes filled with tears. She reached for the journal first. As her fingers brushed its spine, a voice whispered, "You weren't supposed to open it alone." Emily spun around, lantern shaking. Darkness pressed in from the stairwell. Footsteps echoed slowly down the stairs. Her breath hitched. The journal slipped from her hand. It hit the floor with a soft thud. Emily's lantern flickered. The shadows in the doorway shifted. A figure emerged, tall, silent, familiar. Emily's blood ran cold. She recognized him from her dreams. His gray eyes glinted in the lantern light. He stepped forward without a word. Emily backed against the pedestal. Her heart drummed in her chest. "Who are you?" she whispered. He lifted a hand, revealing a matching family crest ring. "Emily," he said softly, "I'm the one you must trust." Emily's legs trembled. Her voice barely rose above the whispering wind. "Why?" she asked, voice cracking. He knelt and picked up the journal. His gaze met hers with intensity. "The map led you here," he said. "I've been watching over you." Emily swallowed hard. Her mind swirled with fear and longing. She glanced at the pouch of coins. "Is this the treasure?" she asked. He shook his head. "This is just the beginning." He extended a hand. "Come with me." Lightning flashed through the stairwell. In that brief glow, Emily saw his face clearly. Hope and dread warred in her chest. She hesitated only a heartbeat. Then she placed her hand in his. A low rumble echoed through the chamber. The iron door slammed shut above them. Emily's breath caught on a scream. She looked up at him, eyes wide. "Emily," he whispered, "we have a long journey ahead." And in that moment, the map's true path unfolded. An unseen danger loomed just beyond the light. Daniel Hayes guided Emily up the spiraling stairs. Each step felt heavier in the dim lantern light. Her palms pressed against the cold iron railing. Thunder rattled the library's ancient windows. Emily swallowed against the pounding in her ears. Daniel whispered, "We must move quickly." He led her through a hidden corridor. Dusty portraits lined the stone walls. Faces in oil paints seemed to watch them. Emily traced her grandmother's likeness on one frame. Her chest tightened. With both fear and resolve, Daniel's grip was firm on her arm. Electric tension crackled between them. A soft click echoed behind Emily. She spun. Daniel's eyes narrowed. A secret door slid open silently. A narrow passage stretched into darkness. Emily's lantern revealed cobwebs overhead. She hesitated at the threshold. "Trust me," Daniel murmured. She nodded, heart hammering. They slipped inside like ghosts. Footsteps thundered above them. Emily's breath hitched. Shadows shifted at the passage's end. Daniel pressed a hand to her back. He whispered, "They're closer than we thought." Emily forced her legs forward. A low growl resonated through the stone. They reached another iron door. Daniel fitted the heart-shaped key again. The lock clicked. Emily pushed the door open. They emerged into a vast catacomb. Torch sconces flickered. On damp walls, the air smelled of mildew and secrets. Emily's lantern beam danced across skull carvings. Daniel scanned the darkness. A distant voice reached their ears, muffled shouting too far to understand. Emily's grip on the map tightened. Daniel pointed ahead. "Follow me," he said. They moved through winding tunnels. Emily's boots splashed through shallow water. Her reflection wavered in the puddles. Daniel paused at a branching path. He consulted the map. Emily held her breath. Left, he decided. They proceeded into deeper gloom. A sudden clatter rang behind them. Emily whirled around. Nothing but empty corridor. She exhaled shakily. Daniel's jaw clenched. "No, we're here," he said. Emily's heart dropped. Her mind raced with questions. Who were they? What did they want? Daniel stopped at a sealed iron gate. Angled light revealed a symbol etched into it. A stylized heart, entwined with a compass. Emily's fingers trembled over the emblem. Daniel inserted a second key. This one bore his family crest. The gate swung inward with a groan. Beyond lay a chamber filled with crates, wooden boxes stamped with red wax seals. Daniel lifted one seal and broke it. A stack of aged letters tumbled out. Emily picked one up. The handwriting was Rose Carter's. Her breath caught. Daniel watched her with solemn eyes. "Read it," he urged. Emily unfolded the top letter. It read, "Meet me where memories sleep." Emily's pulse quickened. "Where memories sleep," she echoed. Daniel closed his eyes briefly. He whispered, "The old Willow Park Cemetery." Emily stared at him. Her voice trembled. "How did you know?" Daniel's face softened. "I found your grandmother there years ago." Emily's mind spun. She shook her head. "Why didn't she tell me?" Daniel pointed to another crate. "More answers are here." Emily knelt to open it. Inside, wrapped in velvet, lay a silver locket. The locket's cover bore two intertwined hearts. Emily's fingers caressed the cool metal. She opened it carefully. Inside, a faded photograph. Grandma Rose smiling beside a young man. His arm draped around her shoulder. Emily's breath caught. Daniel rested a hand on her shoulder. "She loved him," he said softly. Emily's eyes brimmed with tears. "Who is he?" she whispered. Daniel met her gaze. "He's my ancestor," he confessed. Emily recoiled slightly. Her brain spun. "The man in the picture, your blood." Daniel nodded. Emily sank against a crate. Her world tilted. Memories surfaced of Grandma's words. "Find what matters." Emily closed her eyes. Her heart pounded. Daniel crouched beside her. He opened a third crate. Inside lay a folded diary. The leather cover cracked with age. Daniel handed it to Emily. She opened to the first page. Ink strokes shimmered in the lantern's glow. "It begins in Willow Park." Daniel read aloud. Emily's fingers trailed each word. A sudden echo of footsteps reverberated. Daniel snapped. The diary shut. He rose, pulling Emily up. "We're not alone," he warned. Emily's lantern flickered. A distant rumble shook the ground. Daniel stood protectively in front of her. Emily clutched the diary to her chest. Her breath hitched at every sound. Daniel whispered urgently, "Stay close." They dashed down a narrow side tunnel. Emily stumbled over loose stones. Daniel caught her elbow. His touch sent warmth through her. They burst into a cavernous chamber. Stalactites dripped from the ceiling. The floor glittered with mineral deposits. Emily shone her lantern around. She froze. At the far end stood two figures, silhouettes against torchlight. One held a long gun. The other wore a silver mask. Daniel's eyes darkened. "Harper and Durling," he hissed. Emily's blood ran cold. She whispered, "They're after the journal." Daniel's jaw tightened. He took a deep breath. "We can't outrun them here." Emily's heart pounded. She scanned for exits. A narrow fissure glowed at the cavern's edge. Daniel pointed. "Through there," he urged. Emily nodded. They dashed toward the fissure. Stalactites rang like bells above them. Emily's lantern clattered to the ground. Darkness swallowed her. Daniel grabbed her hand. She stumbled, but he held firm. They tumbled through the crack. Emily landed on a sloping ledge. She gasped, vision blurred. Daniel helped her up. They stood at the edge of an underground river. Moonlight filtered through a jagged opening above. Emily watched water rush below. Daniel produced a coil of rope. He tied it around her waist. "Hold tight," he instructed. Emily nodded, knuckles white. Daniel lowered himself first. Emily's knees trembled as she edged forward. The rope's weight in her hand felt real. Thunder rolled from above. Harper's voice echoed in the tunnel. "Stop them," the masked figure commanded. Footsteps sounded on rock. Emily's breath caught. Daniel gave a nod. She took a deep breath, then jumped. The rope caught on a stalagmite. She dangled above the river. Her lantern's light swung wildly. Daniel lowered himself beside her. He secured the rope to a sturdy outcropping. Emily's boots touched solid ground again. They lay flat, chests heaving. Behind them, Harper and Derling's shouts grew louder. Emily glanced at Daniel. His face was set with determination. "We'll lose them above," he said. Emily nodded fiercely. She tucked the diary into her coat. They slipped back into the darkness. Emily's heart raced with both terror and excitement. She realized this journey was far from over, and the map's secrets were only beginning to unfold. Asterisk. Daniel led Emily into a hidden garage behind the library. Old exercise mats lined the concrete floor. A single fluorescent bulb hummed overhead. Emily's coat felt heavy in her arms. Daniel set down the diary and map. He pointed to a rack of wooden staffs. "First balance," he said softly. Emily selected a staff and gripped it firmly. Her knuckles whitened on the smooth wood. Daniel mirrored her stance. "Feet shoulder-width apart," he instructed. Emily adjusted her posture. Carefully, rain pattered on the corrugated metal roof. Daniel swung his staff in a slow arc. Emily imitated him, uncertain at first. Her arms shook with the effort. Daniel nodded approvingly. "Good," he murmured. He accelerated the tempo. Emily matched, his movements faster. A rhythm formed between their staffs. Her breath steadied. Her muscles warmed under exertion. Daniel paused. He offered a small towel. Emily wiped sweat from her brow. Her heart felt lighter. "Now defense," Daniel said. He held up a padded shield. Emily raised the staff defensively. Daniel struck the shield. Emily absorbed the impact. Her legs wobbled. Daniel's eyes stayed calm. "Bend your knees," he coached. Emily adjusted her stance. Daniel struck again at an angle. Emily blocked smoothly this time. She surprised herself. Daniel smiled. "Better," he encouraged. Next, he produced a small pistol and targets. Emily's eyes widened at the cold metal. Daniel demonstrated safe handling. He loaded the magazine slowly. Emily watched every detail. Then he handed her the pistol. Her fingertips trembled on the grip. Daniel guided her hand placement. She squared her shoulders. Daniel coached her breathing. Inhale, hold, exhale. Emily squeezed the trigger. A sharp crack echoed in the garage. The bullet hit dead center on the target. Emily's eyes shone with triumph. Daniel clapped quietly. "Well done." Emily's chest swelled. She wiped her hands again. "Last," Daniel said. "Mental focus." He led her to a punching bag. Emily raised her fists. Daniel initiated a light spar. They exchanged gentle blows. Emily blocked and countered. Her mind cleared with each strike. Memories of fear fell away. Daniel tapped her shoulder lightly. "Feel your power," he said. Emily nodded, breathing hard. She struck the bag with a solid jab. The bag swung back. Emily spun and landed a kick. The bag thudded. Daniel's face held pride. Emily caught her reflection in a dusty mirror. She looked stronger. Her eyes glinted with confidence. Daniel handed her a water bottle. Emily took a long drink. Rain drummed on the roof again. Daniel lowered his voice. "There's more you should know." He pointed to the diary on a workbench. Emily opened it to a marked page. Her grandmother's handwriting described a secret code. Daniel traced a finger over the lines. "This code reveals the final location." Emily's pulse quickened. "I can't decipher it alone." Daniel nodded. "We'll work together." He leaned closer. "Trust your instincts," he advised. Emily's gaze met his. Her doubts faded. She felt a steady resolve. Daniel retrieved a small cipher wheel. He placed it on the map. Emily aligned symbols carefully. Daniel guided her hands. Together, they turned the wheel. A phrase emerged, "Heart's true sanctuary." Emily whispered the words, her breath caught. Daniel closed the diary gently. She felt gratitude for his guidance. Daniel handed her the journal. "Rest tonight," he said. "Tomorrow, we follow the next clue." Emily smiled, exhaustion and excitement mingling. She slung the journal over her shoulder. Daniel switched off the lantern. Darkness enveloped the garage. Emily's steps felt surer on the concrete. She paused at the door. Rain had ceased. A pale moonlight bathed the alley. Emily inhaled deeply. She felt empowered and alive. Tomorrow would bring greater danger. But tonight, she had conquered her fears. She looked back at Daniel. His silhouette stood solid and reassuring. Emily whispered, "Thank you." Daniel nodded once. She stepped into the night. Her coat billowed behind her. Clutching map and journal, she felt ready. The journey ahead felt possible. Her heart, like the map, pointed straight to him. And at last, Emily believed in her own strength. Daniel and Emily reached a sunlit courtyard at dawn. The air smelled of jasmine and damp stone. Emily clutched the journal against her chest. Daniel scanned every shadow. A soft voice called from behind a fountain. "Emily." She spun, heart leaping. Marcus stepped into the light. His cafe apron, dusted with flour. Emily's breath caught Marcus. She whispered. Relief and confusion warred in her chest. Daniel frowned at the reunion. Marcus offered a shaky smile. "I got your message," he said. Emily opened her mouth to speak. Daniel held up a hand. "They sent me," Marcus admitted. Emily's stomach sank. Marcus swallowed hard. "I know. About the map," he confessed. Emily's eyes widened. "Why?" she demanded. Marcus's gaze dropped to the cobblestones. "I'm sorry," he murmured. He pulled a small pistol from his pocket. Emily's voice caught. "Marcus, please." Daniel stepped forward. "Stand down," he warned. Marcus hesitated, eyes flicking between them. Tears welled in Emily's eyes. "I never wanted to hurt you," Marcus said. Daniel's grip tightened on his staff. Marcus aimed the pistol at Daniel. Daniel's jaw clenched. Emily lunged forward. "Don't do this," she cried. Marcus's hand shook violently. He blinked rapidly. Daniel whispered, "Lower it." Marcus's finger trembled on the trigger. Emily held a trembling hand out. "Marcus, remember our promise." Marcus's voice cracked. "They promised me a fortune," he admitted. Lightning struck a distant tower. Marcus's face twisted with guilt. Suddenly, he dropped the pistol. It clattered on the stone floor. Emily exhaled shakily. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Marcus collapsed to his knees. "I'm so sorry," he sobbed. Daniel holstered his staff. He knelt beside Marcus. "Why?" Daniel asked softly. Marcus looked up, ashamed. "My cafe is failing," he confessed. "I owed money to dangerous people. They threatened to ruin you," Emily guessed. Marcus nodded, voice faint. "They said, 'Help me, or she dies.'" Emily's heart shattered. Daniel placed a steady hand on Marcus's shoulder. "We'll help you," he said firmly. Marcus blinked at Daniel. Emily brushed hair from her face. "Let's get out of here," she whispered. Daniel nodded and lifted Marcus gently. They left the courtyard in silence. Hours later, they reached an abandoned gazebo. Daniel built a small fire. Marcus warmed his shaking hands. Emily paced the cracked tiles. Questions churned in her mind. "Why now?" she asked Marcus quietly. Marcus stared at the flames. "They knew about the vault," he said. Emily's eyes narrowed. "Someone betrayed us from the start." Daniel frowned. "Not Marcus," he said softly. Emily's gaze flicked to the journal. "You think another mole exists?" Daniel nodded. Emily clenched her fists. Her chest tightened. "We need answers," she said. Daniel lifted the journal. He flipped to the last entry. Emily leaned in to read. The handwriting was shaky. Rose wrote of a trusted friend. Emily's breath caught. "Who?" she whispered. Daniel traced a name, Harper Caldwell. Emily's stomach dropped. Harper's name echoed through the chambers. She glanced at Marcus. "Harper works for the library board," she said. Marcus's eyes widened. "Of course," he admitted. Emily's fists clenched. "Harper betrayed Grandma," she said. Daniel's eyes darkened. He wanted the treasure for himself. Emily's voice was steely. "We confront him now." Daniel laid the journal on the tile. Emily grabbed her staff. Marcus pressed against Daniel's side. They stepped into the moonlit courtyard again. Harper waited beside a marble statue. His suit was crisp and bloodless. Silver cufflinks caught the firelight. Emily's heart pounded. Harper's lips curved into a polite smile. "Miss Carter," he greeted. Emily's voice trembled. "You betrayed my grandmother." Harper raised an eyebrow. "I did what I had to do." Daniel's tone was cold. "Your greed cost lives." Harper sighed theatrically. "Rose owed me a favor." Emily's fists shook. "She trusted you." Harper shrugged. "She hid the secret long enough." Emily stepped forward. "You lied to her family." Harper's smile faltered. "I needed protection," he said softly. Emily's pulse thundered. "From what?" she demanded. Harper glanced at the dark skyline. "From me," he admitted. Emily froze. Harper laughed quietly. "You think that heart symbol matters?" He tapped his cufflink. "It's a code for power." Emily's mind reeled. "How could you?" she whispered. Harper's eyes glittered. "I promised to expose the Carter fortune." Emily's vision blurred with rage. Daniel stepped between them. "That ends tonight," he declared. Harper's gaze flicked to the journal. He lunged for it. Daniel blocked him with the staff. Emily joined the fight. Her staff struck Harper's arm. He staggered backward. Marcus grabbed Harper's wrist. The journal fell open on the ground. Emily retrieved it quickly. Harper spat on the stone. "You'll never uncover the rest." Emily's voice rang clear. "I'll finish what Grandma began." Harper's laugh echoed. "Then face the final guardian." He vanished into a shadowed archway. Daniel and Emily exchanged a look. Marcus exhaled shakily. Emily clutched the journal. Her heart raced with defiance. "Let's go," Daniel urged. Emily nodded. They crossed the courtyard together. Betrayal cut deep, but resolve burned brighter. The true enemy still waited. And Emily would not falter. Emily's lantern flickered against stone walls. She gripped the journal like a lifeline. Daniel led Marcus down a narrow corridor. Their footsteps echoed ominously. Harper's mocking voice drifted ahead. "Welcome to your doom," he called. Emily's heart pounded louder than thunder. They reached a vast chamber underground. Torchlight revealed carved pillars and statues. At the center stood a dais with a chest. Harper hovered beside it, arms crossed. His silver mask gleamed in the firelight. Emily raised her staff defensively. Daniel positioned himself between her and Harper. Marcus trembled behind them. Harper's voice was smooth. "Open it," he commanded. Emily hesitated. She exchanged a glance with Daniel. He nodded once. Emily stepped onto the dais. Her boots rang on polished stone. She placed the journal and key on the chest. Harper's eyes glittered. Emily inserted the heart-shaped key. The lock clicked ominously. She lifted the lid slowly. Inside lay a crystalline orb glowing faintly. Soft light pulsed like a heartbeat. Emily's breath caught. Harper lunged forward. Daniel intercepted him with the staff. They clashed with a sharp crack. Emily seized the orb carefully. Its light bathed her face. Harper snarled and pushed Daniel aside. Marcus charged at Harper. Harper threw a punch. Marcus staggered but held firm. Daniel recovered and struck Harper's arm. The mask cracked under the blow. Harper hissed in fury. He lunged at Emily. She dodged, orb in hand. Her pulse echoed the orb's rhythm. Daniel grabbed Harper's other arm. They wrestled beneath flickering torches. Harper's mask fell, revealing a pale face. Emily's breath froze. It was the man from her dreams. Harper's lips twisted. "This is my legacy," he spat. Emily pointed the orb at him. Light flared, blinding the chamber. Harper screamed, reeling back. Daniel held him tightly. Marcus seized the journal. He and Emily dashed toward the exit. The chamber shook violently. Stone dust rained from the ceiling. A deep rumble rolled through the halls. Emily glanced back. Harper's roar echoed behind them. Daniel pulled them through a side archway. They emerged onto a crumbling balcony. Moonlight poured over a chasm below. The only path was a broken ledge. Emily's legs trembled at the drop. Daniel handed her a coil of rope. He tied it securely around her waist. Marcus secured his end. Emily edged onto the ledge. Rocks crumbled under her boots. She clutched the rope tightly. Daniel called down, "Jump on 3." Emily swallowed hard. 1. Her heart thundered. 2. She closed her eyes. 3. She leaped into the void. The rope held firm. She swung across the chasm. Daniel caught her at the far, while Marcus followed swiftly. Behind them, the chamber collapsed. Dust and stone filled the air. Emily coughed, blinking through the haze. Daniel guided them down a spiral stair. They emerged beneath the library steps. Dawn light crested the horizon. Emily's legs shook with relief. Marcus sank to his knees. Daniel handed Emily the orb. It glowed warmly in her palm. Emily exhaled deeply. "Our path ends here," Daniel said. Harper's distant screams faded. Emily lifted her gaze. Sunlight touched the library's facade. She felt hope flood her chest. Daniel helped Marcus to his feet. Emily pressed the orb to her heart. Its light pulsed in harmony. She whispered, "We did it." Daniel smiled, weary but proud. Marcus embraced Emily, tears falling. Emily looked toward the open gate. Behind them, shadows lay silent. Ahead, a new day beckoned, and in that light, their hearts found freedom. **** Morning breezes drifted through the library doors. Emily stood on the grand steps. Birdsong filled the awakening city. She held the crystalline orb upright. Sunlight refracted through its facets. Daniel and Marcus flanked her sides. Emily spoke with calm resolve. "We return this treasure to its rightful place." Daniel nodded in agreement. Marcus offered a small, relieved smile. Together, they entered the Carter archives. Archivists gasped at the orb's gentle glow. Legal papers lay ready on a table. Grandma Rose's will named Emily heir. The archives director bowed respectfully. Emily signed donation forms swiftly. The orb and journal became public exhibits. A plaque honored Rose Carter's legacy. Visitors who would learn her true story. Emily felt tears of pride sting. Daniel placed a hand on her shoulder. Emily glanced at him gratefully. Their eyes met in soft understanding. Marcus watched with joyful eyes. After the ceremony, the three stepped outside. Emily inhaled the warm, hopeful air. She turned to Daniel with a shy smile. "Thank you for trusting me." Daniel's lips curved upward. "I trust you with my heart." Emily's cheeks warmed. Marcus waved goodbye. Cafe dreams renewed. Daniel tucked an arm around Emily's waist. They strolled toward Brooklyn Bridge Park. The orb nestled safely in her bag. Emily paused by the East River. She cupped Daniel's hand in hers. "Grandma was right," she whispered. "Treasure leads straight to the heart." Daniel smiled under the sunrise. Their shadows intertwined on the pavement. Emily leaned her head on his shoulder. Hope and love bloomed between them. The city stretched endless before their feet. And together they stepped into the light. ****.